buttons on the right. Go on the left. Press them until you can press multiple ones at the same time. You have to hold it for a while.
Yes.
No, it's just the first four from the left.
I get that, but what about these lights?
Those are among the first four. There's
Okay,
three
but
pairs, and then there's this first row.
In memory.
I see it had one dot left.
All right.
Yes. Well, guess what? Yes, there we go.
Nap time. I love nap time.
I love digital light.
We're just waiting for the stream to start.
We are alive.
Okay.
Older person with prostate trouble.
You are alive.
All right, you're on, Ting.
Okay. I got it. Am I on? I think. Hello, hello. You? Okay, yeah. All right. I think last month we were talking about perhaps we can start hardware design workshop or the FPGA workshop. You know, I've been doing lots of work with this Bravia 2 kit. Okay, that's a FPGA kit. Lots of things in it that allows you to do your own design and actually verify on it. So the my proposal is that we have a workshop dedicated to this kit. And because I've spent lots of time with it, and I can lead this workshop and to actually get you, if you are interested, you can get started on it. Okay, so what we want is to see if there's enough interest in this kit that's worthwhile for a workshop, perhaps next month. So what we want to see is if anybody can get this kit and participate in the workshop next month. Yes.
You'll need to bring a laptop with the software installed. You need to have bought this, preferably like a week or two in advance. Try to fiddle around with it a little bit on your own before you get there. How many people are going to be interested in actually buying the kit and bringing your laptop and the kit to the class? That's 1, 2, 3-ish.
Okay.
Run the software, I'll do it. I'm running Linux, I don't know if the software will run on.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. They do have Linux versions.
And how much is the kit?
About $49, I think.
Is it a Lattice FPGA?
Yeah.
It's a Lattice.
Lattice.
Yeah. So, well, okay. So I think we got enough interest. Let's do it. Next month, we will we'll have our session. The next month, or what's the date? We will have a whole day workshop on it. Okay, and our plan to do it. So if you participate, you can send me an email, and I will give you this EP8080 package. And I hope you can try it and on your kit before you come over and to start. Okay. If you have any other project you want to do, go ahead and start it, and we can all discuss the project and see and try the projects here next month to see how far we can go. Okay.
How would you feel about May instead of April?
May will be the makers fair.
It's not on the fourth Saturday.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. May's fine. What do you think?
I'm jazzed with the idea of being here on the fourth Saturday in May.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fourth Saturday in May.
Previous, up until this point, the May meeting was not going to
Mm-hmm.
be held. It was going to be Maker Fair instead.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I feel that would be a good opportunity to actually have a meeting
Yeah.
and do something
Mm-hmm.
maybe exciting and useful.
Right.
Even
Okay.
though I won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll still have April as well.
April will be a regular meeting and May will be this workshop.
Okay.
Okay.
April is that I can't be here in May,
Right.
but I would like to have some activity. I just don't want to foist it on somebody else's program.
Do you think it might be a good idea to advertise this more than the community? We have a flyer to put up there.
If you want to make a flyer and advertise it, I would feel inspired by your leadership and grateful for your participation. Okay? And unenthusiastic about devoting any of my time to it.
Okay.
I can say that
So,
without hurting anyone's feelings.
Here's my email address. I think Kevin, you might want to somehow put it on the screen so people on the net can see it.
I think
Yeah.
that anybody can post to the email list.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the email list, but what the hell good are you? And it will be in the meeting notes, which will be published to the email list. Dave, are you on the email list at this time?
Yes, I think I'm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's try it. If you have any question, send me an email, and we can arrange things. Tell me about the project you want to work on, and we can plan on to have a workshop, do some real things. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, so I would recommend that if you're going to do this, that you buy the Brevia kit. The link to the Brevia kit will be in the meeting links that will be sent to the email list. Hopefully we can. Oh, this is awesome! That's why it was against the wall. We took this from against the wall and put it up in the front of the room for. All right, so it says we're going to talk about rumors, gossip, and new things. And the first bit of news that we're faced with is the demise of Glenn Aden. Passed away at some date we're not exactly 100% sure about. So I thought that I'd flash this link. We'll be talking more about that a little bit later in the meeting. Okay. I ran across this interesting program. Apparently Windows' newest applications programs save their pictures and other attachments and addenda and
files in the XML practice of putting them in a zip file. But in the olden days, when you had XLS instead of XLSX, all these pictures and things needed to be extracted from the Microsoft Office or Open Office for that matter, or Apple iWorks. Wow. XML, Comic Book Archive. That's interesting. AutoCAD. Oh, that could be potentially useful. And Adobe Shockwave Flash. So you can extract pictures from inside documents. So that's the purpose of that. And I'll send that link. So, does anyone else have anything they'd like to add to this particular? Here, this too. Try to kill some time.
So earlier today, James Bowman had emailed the list with a link, if I can pull it up here. Yes, here we go.
That microphone is supposed to be broadcasting to us. It's not working.
No, it's not.
It's broadcasting to the net.
Yes.
Speak from the diaphragm.
Yes, I will. Give me 1 second here. But James Bowman, an email on the generalities list, sent us a link to a new project from Ken Boak. I apologize if I mispronounced the last name. He's in the United Kingdom, and he just released a small project called the Chipstick. And this is a project, it appears to be a 4 centimeter by 1 centimeter wide printed circuit board with a number of I/O pins, and is based on the MSP 430 series microcontroller. And he's running a small scale experimental fourth machine on it. So that may be of potential interest to people in the SVFIG community as well. It's in email.
In the email list?
Yeah, SVFIG.
When was this?
Just earlier today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Reading my email today. That'll teach me. Thank you, Sam. So those of you that wish to melt pieces of metal, our friends from Banggood will essentially make that possible for you. For little tiny zones of little tiny pieces of stuff, you can do your own zone refining. That if you want to make one ring, this will melt enough gold to make that possible. But this is apparently the thing these days. You have a little oscilloscope with a little arm in it, and you can, there's a whole community of people writing software for these things. And
USB interface?
maybe. Yeah, it's got a USB interface, but you can't really use it as a scope module for your PC. There are other things that do that job, of course, but So this looked kind of interesting. It's a Bosch kit with a little processor and all of these sensors, accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, and stuff. And light sensor, pressure sensor, humidity sensor, and it's got a block diagram with more blocks than I care to talk about. Speaking of our friends from Banggood, these guys just break me up. More Arduino Uno things than you could possibly buy in a lifetime. Unless you had an awful lot of money and somebody to actually do it for you. Well, buying things from Banggood could be like a full-time job for somebody. There you go. Speaking of sensors, and Banggood for that matter, this is the 37-in-1 sensor module board set for Arduino. How can you live without this thing?
37 different sensors.
Yes, that's what it says. That's another set. We'll talk about that next time. So this is New Equipment Digest, and this is the latest, the best use for your 3D printer. You can make armor for your cat. And this is the concept tire from our friends at Goodyear. It's a sphere. Go figure. Has anybody seen these little bits modules? The only thing that I can think of is, yes, that's a great idea, and oh, by the way, they're horrifically expensive. So it seems to me that if you want to introduce somebody to electronics, you used to be able to buy them a bunch of dips, some sockets, and a wire wrap tool. And not an electric one either. But I guess if you've got more money than sense, this might be a viable way to introduce somebody to a little bit of hardware. There are lots of different kinds of these particular modules, so it might be fun for a little kid to build their own amplifier or thing that goes squawk or stuff. Yeah. So there was a video on the email list a week or two ago, this big laser that was being decommissioned for cutting, I don't know, 7.62 millimeter thick pieces of sheet metal. And so I went to our friends at Banggood, where I had seen these laser engraving tools for engraving 7.62 thick pieces of sheet metal or cedar or oak or whatever. You can buy this honking big 1.6 watt laser. And this desktop laser engraver, which apparently is less the actual laser. Did I send this this music generating machine that was mostly plywood to the email list? or just to a few friends?
That the steel marble. one.
Yeah, there were steel marbles involved.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, anyway, the point I was trying to make is that it looks like substantial pieces of this are made from hardwood. Or maybe it's just fiberboard. All right. New things, comments, details, Ting?
Okay. One question I have is that anybody's using the Visual Studio? Visual Studio?
Like Visual Basic or Visual C++?
I think it's a platform that runs all the.
Yeah, it's a development environment for, it's an IDE for Visual C++ or Visual Basic or Visual, yeah. All the visual stuff. By the way, C++, double plus good.
So, well, I was looking at it to see if, it says, it claimed that you can do APIs for all different target platforms. And I was interested in doing some Android applications. But I don't have enough experience in that to see.
Well, why don't the three of you talk about that at the break? All right, let's take a short intermission, and then we'll come back and get on with the show.
the lead. It's lead the assembler.
That's just because you haven't exploded in the exe file. See, I exploded in the exe file. I have had at one time a whole bunch of forth code that would go through and explode any exe file. And from there, I can construct anything. And okay, that's what you're using it for, is to make the partitions correct.
Nah, not going like that.
I'm about ready to hit the show.
Yeah, shall we? Alrighty, folks. Let's. Oh.
It's generally considered.
10-second warning.
Class. Counting down on his fingers in binary. Okay. You guys, sit down, be quiet. Thank you. That brings us to a point of order. I've got some leftover 7-Up from 4th day. I'm going to bring it to the meeting next month. Not that many cans, you know. The question is, does anybody want it? Nobody wants it. Okay, be that way. Hurt my feelings. See what I heard. Think about what I'm going to do with all this 7-Up.
How many cans do you want?
Maybe 20.
Okay, that's a sand.
I want to know. All right, we're hard to be quiet now. It's hard to understand.
All right, everyone. So it's been a while since I'm Brad Nelson, for those of you who've forgotten somehow. I figure it's been a good while since we've gone through and looked at our a catch of haikus, and I've only added one substantive feature since the last time we did this, which has occurred to me that I should actually indicate the date in which the haiku was posted, which is moderately helpful. So you'll find throughout the site that the date has been posted. I just discovered that apparently along the way, I think probably circa 4th day last, I may have broken the audio on the slideshow. So unfortunately for the ones that have audio, I will have to either go out separately to look at them or pass on them. So I went roughly back in time as far as I remembered them in any substantive form, and I thought we'd take a gander, and then I have a little minor segue, as I often do at the end, on a related but not really related topic. So this one's fun, and you, Dr. Ting was mentioning this is Sam Lee's contribution. Sam Chen, sorry. It's lovely, and I guess we could look at the. It's not that big.
Is that programming in Chinese?
Indeed. I've noticed that this, okay, well, this one's not, but I've noticed that a number of them, he's really gone to town with that. Would you say that that's a typical pattern, by the way, in terms of I assume that he does that in general in his fourth work. Is that safe to say? I seem to recall there's a quote from I believe it's Dijkstra about the two things you need to be a good programmer: a rational mind and a strong mastery of your native tongue. So come up with good words, good things to say. So this one's kind of interesting. I lean to you for translation as is appropriate.
Try to fold.
Oh, these are intriguing.
Folding and layering.
Aha. So I assume it's simple. Yeah, that's the whole thing right there. Lovely. And I have no idea what this is. There's a few oh, here we go. This is the version that works. And the simplified version, okay. More carousel. There's a few broken ones in here. So it's got some rain, lovely. Ooh, color.
I think he
Oh, here's one of the sound ones that unfortunately we'll have to either take a look at separately. Oh, you definitely got to check that out if it's running with music. We're going to see what the music is. Alien DNA with sounds. Okay, I'm definitely regretting we're not going through these in a way form that we can do that with. Huh. This is interesting. Not spinning, but colored. Again, more sound. Oh, we're really going to have to. I didn't realize there were so many with sound. Ooh, what's this now? Is it? It's not very big either. Oh, Pac-Man with a shining light.
Image of electromagnetic wave.
Huh. Energy.
Energy.
The Chinese is talents.
Huh?
Okay, that's swordmanship.
It's involved. Uh-huh.
That looks like a beautiful picture.
It's rainbow. Time kernel. Okay.
Yeah, not very big either. Oh, this is lovely.
Flower.
Oh, and wow, that's small. That's really cool.
That's a real nice.
Yeah. That's downright artistic. Oh, a broken one. Various stripes. Ooh.
Small flowers.
Mm. Huh. Indeed, small.
I think Samuel teaches in classes.
Another version of this guy.
His students. He's put on these things as exercises. Yeah, haiku is really good teaching tool for programming.
Mm. Huh. Oh, more versions of this. Oh, what's this now? That's kind of neat. That's pretty small too. Wow. Yeah.
Low-res matrix.
Low-res matrix. Well, actually, it's pretty. I mean, that's really small. That I'm kind of impressed. I guess it's sort of. Yeah.
Well, how they make the Mario character?
Oh, you want to go back? The Mario is this is somebody's resurfacing. That one's a little more involved, but oops, it's encoded the data and it's all data. I have to say I was impressed when the Russians first kind of came up with patterns for doing bitmaps. It really is. That was something I would have totally had bitops if I had really been anticipating that was feasible. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Where were we? We have this.
Electric fan.
That's the whole thing there. That's pretty cool. More people playing with Mario. This is a version of another common one. Ooh, they've picked up the pace on this one. That looks aggressive. That's definitely not the pace of the other Pong ones. Wow. Shee. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, yeah. There. Look at that. That's really something. Yeah. Some more of the variations on some of these. Let's see. These are kind of similar. Come on. Yeah. Well, this is Matt Monway, who does a number of the really impressive ones. His son, who is you'll see on there is Ivan Hugh, who I think he was 9. I think he's now 10. This is the version of one of his actually, Disco. So we've got the 10-year-old kid contributing them, which is fun. Boy, there's a bunch of clones of that. This is a clone of a part of one of mine, Electric Larva. Another version of Disco. A little bit spammy, these broken ones in here. And this is a long-standing one. We've had this before. Lots of data in that one from Vectrix. That's weird. Look at that. Somebody playing with one little difference between the... This is flipping back and forth between the slides. Yeah. Okay.
Water wave.
Yeah. That's not too bad.
Stage light.
Oh. Click basic and MSX2 memories. Indeed. Ooh. That's pretty cool. Bobo.
Light points.
Hmm. Okay. Oh, hey. I like this sort of sharp. Yeah. And that's really not bad. Yeah. Well, if you want a seizure. Oh, hey, that's kind of neat. Yeah. Not bad. Huh. Huh. Well, there's a little flex in that, but it's not much. Oh, junk. More squares for Disco. Ooh. Oh, sorry. You're huh, kaleidoscope. Okay. Ooh, what's this now? Kind of neat. Ooh, streaky. Rainbow tentacle. I don't see the rainbow tentacle. Just not seeing it. Ooh, this is kind of, oh, hey. This I like this one. This one's kind of
Technical schools.
this is really kind of cool. Ah.
Well, just show the code.
There you go, right? It's obvious.
A student in the information engineering, the senior.
Yeah.
The polar, right? Polar
Borealis.
Ah.
Meteorites. And the age circle of a tree.
We're challenging you here with translation, right? You're trying to bridge that impedance mismatch to English. It's good. Yeah. Oh, more junk. Oh, what was this? Oh, wow.
The flowing of red paint.
Oh, wow, that one's pretty cool. That really has a nice,
It's a senior in information engineering.
that's pretty sneaky. Wow. I want to look at the code for that. It looks, it doesn't actually do justice. The contrast of it is really quite, yeah, let me show. Yeah, it's probably a little more involved, but, and that's actually clipped off the bottom, so. Wow, that one's really, the projector doesn't do it justice. It's really got sharp color on here. Anyhow, ooh, hey, flowers. Oh, they're blinking it in and out. This is a version of that same one. Oh, that's really dense though. That's really something. Signs of life. Uh-huh.
Light in reverse. I don't know how they mean.
Ooh. That's pretty neat for. Oh yeah. Oh, you're. Yeah. More rainbows. This one's a little more discreet. Oh. Not that big either. It's funny too, because I remember the first Mandelbrot ones I got were much bigger than this, and now they've really gotten into. That's all the code. They're using the Chuck sort of for loops because for lack of loops. So it's amazing. In fact, you can. It's neat. This one you can really see. They've got the two dupe and then the complex square. I guess invited that with having the complex square built in. That's sort of a little bit of a cheat. They'd all be a little bit bigger were it not for that. Yeah. Yep. Oh, so this one we have to go out and, oh no, I don't know if I have, oh, I have to push the buttons here. There we go. That's cool. I can tap the keys in the keyboard. Yep. Cool. Uh-huh.
How can you tell?
Oh, he's never. Oh, we gotta push the keys in these. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, they said use the mouse? Let's see. Oh. ABC, what? Oh, A. What?
We use the mouse to click on the gray area and then push the following key to see the visual effect.
Huh. I don't know, but not sure. There's not enough code there to do nearly. It's only doing. There's no Easter eggs in this. Oh, hey, this one's neat. What's this? Vortex. This looks. Oh, that's not much either. Oh, we have junk. Oh wow, this one somebody was playing with Unicode. Aha. Huh. Another version of it. Ooh. It's pretty psychedelic. Oh. This is the up and ooh. That's nice and small. Circle, circle. Indeed. White black blocks. Ooh. This looks like it's a version of something else. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, hey, what's this now? I like that. Oh, I especially like the little blue. Where's the blue fringe? Yeah, the blue fringe there is neat. That's cool. And it's not that big either. Color Club. Mm.
7-color neon lights.
More trails here.
Fireworks. Golden scales. Golden scales.
Yep. More keyboards. Yeah.
Lots of layers, 100 layers.
Yep. The Redux version of this one.
Fireworks.
Yeah. More keyboards. Spinning ball. That's always fun. Oop. Lots of code for the spinning ball. Version of that. Another version of that. Ooh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Random lines. Okay. Blinking fan. All right. Somebody's got a ball. Oh, it changes color. Okay. Huh.
Sun. Afternoon sun.
Oh, this one's a version of one we've seen before. Oh, what's this now? This is cute. Target. Oh, wow, that's not that much code. That's sort of shooting your target. That's cute.
Paper wrapper.
Oh, another rainbow. Rainbows seem to be a common theme here. The stars, yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat. And wow. Did he do a class on these all? Because a lot of these are all in one, like a couple of days, right?
Names are all different. And some names that are, as say, it's the information engineering.
You'll notice they're all like around January 6th and 5th. That's interesting.
He must be teaching a class and ask the student to do exercises. And all these young people come up with great imagination. Oh boy. The cells dividing.
Oh wow, that's pretty neat.
That's a good one. Okay, it's the frying egg. Diffusion.
Oh.
This is nice.
Yeah, oh, that's nice and small too. Yeah, I like this one.
Airplane. Oh,
What's that?
I don't,
Oh, too many of these disco ones. What's this one? Fresh. The names are more amusing than the. Oh yeah, they're acting. Oh, we saw this one last time we looked through. Spider. Huh. More of this sort of thing. Oh. Ripples. Woo. Broken television. No title. Boop. Interesting. Not much code either. Oh, another version of that Color Club one. I kind of like the original one, but this one's got what I like about this one is they did a good balance of the blue, so it's got nice complementary colors going on. Oh, somebody took the tunnel and made it a sliver instead. Yeah, but it's flat. Like we've seen the one that's circular. This one's flat. That's cute. No, not very many lines. There's something on that ball. More keys. More Unicode. Oh, this looks moving blood. Target. More of those. Oh boy, there's a ton of these. Noise. More noise. More noise. There we go. Something. More rainbows. Wow, and even broader. Colors. Oh wow.
I saw Professor Jin Chen in the rain. Is the name of a professor.
Ah. Is the character? This is his.
The name of Professor Jin.
That's impressive. I love the little flashy star. That's cool. And it's well, okay, that's involved. More of this. Ooh. Oh, a color version of that other black and white one we'd seen. I think. Not very big. Yeah, I liked it better in black and white. I agree. Huh. Yeah, I think we've seen, this is a version of one we've seen before. Oh, more of this. Ooh. It's not bad. Similar. Same kind of deal. More of the same. Yeah, quite a lot of these. It's good we were going through. I didn't realize we had quite so many. Oh, and here's one. This is the one I added now back for the my organizational program, and somebody, of course, immediately had to make it spin. Dark Star, friend Dark Star. It was missing. It should do that in the app, clearly. I've clearly learned my lesson. What's this one? Oh, spin at different rates. There we go. I should say, Yep. Uh-huh. Ooh. That was nice, yeah. No, I gotta the sounds ones. I gotta do better for future ones with sounds. Maybe I need to harvest the ones with sounds and do them. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah. More versions of Pong. Oh, I did a random one and did the low res version of it. Oh yeah, this one was nice. You notice the hills are actually. Oh, I should mention our Russian demo sceners. They have a. I think this is actually Manway's kid has a site that he's. You can also post the haikus, and there's some there as well. It's spawned other places to post as well. And differing colors. We're getting closer to the present. Mm-hmm. Huh. Oh, more sound ones. I apologize about the sound again. Ooh. I changed. I used to have it set up so it can do the sound in general on the site, but I used to have it set up so that if I toggle the slide fast, it'll turn on the sound, and something about that broke. And I think what it was is, if you'll recall, for fourth day I had the keyboard here. In hooking that up to control things, I think I must have broken something with the slideshow. So I kind of naively assume folks don't generally use the slideshow as much, so I don't pay attention to it other than when I'm doing a presentation. But look at my eyes. Cardioid. Another rainbow. Color ball. Color ball. Yep. Yep. Oh, this one's interactive. I put this one in the other day because I was like, oh. And oh yeah, and this is interactive. You float the mouse over and it tracks it. Whee. This one quivers a little bit. And then this one, I borrowed some lovely fellow had done counters that's showing the XY coordinate. Whee. Which is really not as bad as you would think.
It goes someplace.
Oh, this one this is one I put together. I didn't label it. That's that's sad. Well, it is me. So I set it up so you can actually zoom and control where you're zooming into. Come on. All right, this one's break. I'm going to actually pull this one out separately. It doesn't work well at this resolution, and same with that one. So I'm going to pop out of this mode a second. Let's see. Q&A. Yeah. So we have circa last fourth day. We added an option to let you make things interactive and make them have a little bit of state. So if you actually you can just push. Actually, that's right. You can just push down as well, so we can zoom in on some point in the. Well, it doesn't keep going indefinitely because there's not enough iteration. Whoop! In fact, it pops there. I'm going to back out a little. If you get too close, it flips around to at the point of running out of precision, and then it kind of inverts because it's flipped over. So, whee!
You're just on the other side. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, but I'm hopeful there'll be more of that. And then this one, I'll do a few with sound here. Actually, how are we doing for time, Kevin? Kevin, yeah.
As long as you want to take.
All right. Let's go looking for some more soundy ones since we have a moment. Let's see. Red Rainless Sounds. Got to try that. And the strangest thing is, last fourth day I added the ability to do more controlled sound, and oh, that's weird. I'm not seeing it. There we go. Let's see if I can. So it's weird because Circa Forte added a more controlled form of sound, and yet strangely there's been an uptick in folks using the old style of sound with the 2 control points on the sides. So don't know what to make of that. Okay, I think whoa. Let's see, let's go looking for some more. We'll find. I think they were a ways back, actually. But yeah, I haven't seen quite as many that are as interactive as I would have hoped. I think people are taking some time to grok the grok that ability. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's weird. Where did my sound ones go? Oh, here's some. See, unfortunately, these are using the old facility, which is not very. Oh yeah, more of this. Okay, now here. Oh, this one he added music on the background of it. That's cute. So that, for those of you unfamiliar, I've gone through many iterations with sound on this, and there was an old version of sound that didn't require any special explicit content in the haiku that uses 2 control points on the side. One controls volume, one controls a tone on a pentatonic scale. I was never very happy with that one. I had done that because previously I had tried raw audio to no avail. Recently, around 4th Day, I figured out a way to make the raw audio a little more usable, but I don't think it's kind of captured folks' imagination as yet. Because the trouble with the pentatonic one is it ends up being just this sort of whiny thing. To give you a sense of actually what the like I put a version of Pac-Man's sound in here and using the new audio, but this one's even broken because I didn't quite do the math right. It's got a little quirk in there because I was trying to cram the notes into 0 to 9, and it's a little off the scale, so it's not quite right. In any event, all right. So I have one other little minor subtopic that I thought I'd throw in here just for fun. As you may have seen in the news, there's this minimal organism, and I was sort of idly talking and saying, hey, you know, this is in the same genre. This is folks trying to do minimal things, and they've gotten it down to. So there's this group that's been working on basically taking a very simple bacteria and clopping out different parts of its genome and seeing if it still boots up after having things removed. And a few years back, actually, they had an earlier version of this, SYN 1.0, and they're now up to SYN 3.0, which is they've I guess declared success and said it's minimal. The SYN 1.0 was at about 1 million base pairs, and this one I believe is down to about 500,000 base pairs. And it lives. Yes, it's the minimal set to be able to reproduce and be sort of sufficiently fast growing to be viable for the kind of research they want to do with it. And they have, you know, I guess it has about 500 genes in it. They know what about, you know, half of those do, and the other half are sort of in the mystery bucket. What's that? It's yeah, no kidding. So I thought during the break when before the presentation, I thought, well, I'm dying to actually, when the programs start getting down into the 500K of base pairs, that's 128 kilobytes, right? That's like, that's classic systems here. That starts to be, well, I want to disassemble it.
There's also a link in there. The end user license agreement.
Yeah. So in any event, this morning I went and looking for can I get the data? And there's this lovely biologists sort of share, but as I understand it, they're kind of squirrely about sharing too, in various ways. They tend to be wait until they've published. But in any event, I was not able to find the source code, not source code, the binaries for version 3.0, but I was able to find for version 1.0, which is at 1 million base pairs. 2.0 I was also not able to find, although apparently they made it bigger before they made it smaller. So apparently the 2.0 is an intermediate stage on the way to 3. And I have no idea what this is, some random biological site, but the lovely bit is that if you click on this FASTA link, holy crap, then you have to get back into Stanford and come on. Okay. And then we go back. Come on. And then we go here. It will actually give you the raw bytes. So I thought, well, that's nice to just see raw, whatever, but I thought it'd be fun to visualize it. And so step one, well, so I thought I'd write a little bit of forth code to do it, just for the exercise of it being in forth.
So are you going to make like a genome haiku now?
Actually, there have been some haikus that actually try to look like chromosomes, so that's certainly well within the range of things. So this is a little 1.5 screener that lets me chew through. I should pull up the data file. So I copy and pasted the data out of there into a big text file full of just the base pairs, and as you, yeah, indeed. So as you know, there's the four base pairs, and so I just decided to pull them in, and I'm writing out a ppm file because ppm files are easy, and I can always remember the file format. It's just a little text header at the top that says P6, and then you specify the size and whatnot. And I thought, well, to start, I'll chew through and just put a different, red, yellow, green, and blue for each color. And so I thought, well, let's see what that actually looks like. And I convert to TIFF because I can bring that up and let me make this. Oops. So it's not particularly enlightening, but I thought, hey, we can take a look. And so if you zoom in, it's like, this is just a big sea of, let me zoom a little more, just a big sea of individual base pairs. And, there's little, there are patterns. It doesn't, yeah, I'm shocked that it's not, it's not more bereft of it. And it's certainly not an incomprehensible amount of data either. So that was sort of round one of that. And so I thought, okay, well but of course, there's another layer of meaning that you can glean from these. Just thinking back to high school biology, of course, the base pairs, of course, encode for amino acids, right? And so there are, and there's sort of redundancy in the code for various reasons. You have ribosomes that will crawl down the length of the DNA synthesizing it, and so they will, sometimes skip and whatnot. And so there's a bias towards the code being a little bit redundant and it has a number of interesting properties. But so I took this table and transform that into something I could. So I set up a list of colors. I kind of had in my head the old EGA colors, plus I had to pick pick 4 more to get to 20 amino acids. So I have a table of colors and then a table that maps to the amino acids from their encoding, and then tack that on the front of things. And so that gives a not particularly more enlightening image, but a more colorful one in any event. I actually darkened it up because so there's actually there's a few codes in there that are stop sequences. They mark the end of a protein, and so I thought, well, I should mark those in a distinct color, but I found that I couldn't, fish them out of the sea of noise. So I darkened everything up and marked them as in white. Yeah. So this is the same set. It's actually, this is a small, the other image was basically 1,000 by 1,000. This one is about 600 by 600. And in 20 colors, 21 colors, counting the white. And the interesting thing is how much white there is in here. These are the stop sequences, so the gaps between, so it's left to right, and then each section is an individual protein. So there's lots of little tiny slivers. And as I understand it, there are various ways in which when you reach the end, it's not really the end. It sort of peels off and connects in different ways depending on how it chooses to fold. But I know little of such things and don't in any means claim to be an expert. But in any event, it's kind of neat to see, it's like there's little clumps here of sort of, oh, that looks like something. Of course, this is really a one-dimensional thing, and we're looking at it two-dimensionally, so that's probably deceptive. But it's interesting to see something that is, a living thing that is a comprehensible amount of data. That's intriguing to me. And if I think of more clever ideas about, sort of trivial armchair rank amateur ways to look at this data set, I'd be interested to do it. And if you guys have any ideas, and I certainly will be excited when they put up the version 3.0, because working with 1.0 is just thoroughly inadequate. Half the size has got to be far better. So could be. I don't know. I mean, I think they're doing it under government funded research. I think they're obliged to. Yeah, the paper I guess just went out the other day. I think the paper is now available, but the data set isn't. And it's telling that version 2.0 is not yet available, even though that came out I think a while ago. Version 1.0 I think goes back to 2000. I want to say 11 or something. So that's pretty far back. So we're working with an old set of data. So in any event, that's all I've got. Any questions, comments? Profound criticisms? Yeah, take a blood sample.
my grip or I need a screwdriver. It's one or the other.
Ah. So do we have a HDMI cable?
I expect so.
I saw a cable over here.
If there isn't one back there, I probably have one in my bag.
I have one downstairs.
They're usually,
Here.
yeah.
It says HDMI in. It looks HDMI-ish. I've got a cable. Stand by. I take it you do not have a VGA spigot.
You need a big converter?
That is correct. No.
Converters, you've got cables, and got all this crap.
Yeah, I've got a VGA or.
Does that look good to you? Oh, use his.
Yeah.
It's Stanford.
Better. So there. No, I'm glad to not have to gather that up. Pull it out of the door at 4 o'clock. Here's the point where I did the one extension cord, plug strip by using.
With any luck, this will recognize. Okay. Am I on? I am on. Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I gave any updates on Kestrel-related stuff. This should probably go very fast because, well, work has had me just drained to the bone. So I haven't had too much time to work on Kestrel-related things. But there have been a few enhancements. Let me go ahead and start out by.
Say your name first.
I already did. My name is Sam.
Okay.
That's right. So this is probably the best and easiest way to illustrate the first big change. It actually has to do not so much with the Kestrel architecture itself, but rather with its emulator. Now, let's see if this actually works. Yes, excellent. Now I can zoom in here. So one of the first things that you may have noticed, for those who have excellent chronologically inclined memories, is that this actually started up fairly quickly. But to really drive the point home, probably the best thing to do is to show you the slideshow program again, as well as showing how fast it reads from storage and actually displays an image on the screen. As you can see, it's damn near instantaneous. The previous version of the emulator had a fairly naive event loop. Basically, it would attempt to fetch a 32-bit word for interpretation. It would interpret it, and then it would go to SDL library and say, do you have anything for me? And assuming that it did not, it would then continue on in this loop infinitely. As a result of this, it ran at approximately, on my particular laptop that I'm using now, probably in the vicinity of around 6 million instructions per second, but it was fairly, fairly sluggish, as you probably recall. I have altered the event loop, as you can tell. It is certainly much faster. So this is probably no more apparent than when we actually give a presentation using Milestone 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through all of these slides as quickly as I can. As you can tell, that updates at a speed roughly equivalent to if Kestrel actually had a genuine character-based text mode display. I'll do that one more time. That is very, very fast. Now, the emulator now basically runs 100,000 CPU instructions and then checks SDL to see if there's any events pending. Ironically, updating the screen with all the math that entails, because there is math. I have to expand a monochrome bitmap into color triads, and then it has to map color triads into a texture, and then you have to upload the texture to the video card, and then you have to tell the video card to blit it to the screen. All of that apparently is substantially faster than simply asking SDL, do you have an event for me to process? For whatever reason, SDL's event loop is horrifically slow, unbelievably. And this is also markedly faster on my MacBook Pro. Some people may remember me saying that, oh, the emulator on the MacBook Pro, for some reason, I couldn't figure out what it was about 1/10 the speed, sometimes 1/20th, depending on what else I was running on the system. To the point where simply showing the screen, you could actually see it flip and load the bytes into memory as though this were an Apple II, right? I mean, this thing was horribly, horribly, horribly slow. And it all boils down to that infernal SDL event loop. So that's one particular update that I had. So I am now going to show something else. Will you stop that? Okay, enough is enough. All right. Okay, I think that did it. The other thing that I've been working on has been trying to port the Oberon programming environment to the Kestrel. This is a programming language that is basically the third generation of Pascal, basically. It's essentially Modula 2, but it's very stripped down to its bare minimum requirements. And as a result, Niklaus Wirth, when he created it, in coordination with, or in cooperation with another professor whose name escapes me right now, he created an operating system around it. And it was inspired by the old Xerox Star and Cedar systems that were kind of popular, well, not popular, but were kind of making waves in the early 80s. It turns out that Oberon is a very simple operating system and programming environment as far as those things go. So I figured, okay, let me go ahead and try porting Oberon over to the Kestrel 3. As a result, I didn't get terribly far, as you can imagine, because of work, but I did get far enough to let it compile ROM modules. So here I've got, someone had mentioned that this is terribly fine type, and that is correct. This is an 8x8 character matrix. So this is just a simple program. It gives me control over the cursor, and then if I hit a particular key, it just dumps its entire character set. And again, you can see, you know, that's a fairly rapid screen update. Now Oberon is not nearly as efficient at generating code as my BSPL compiler is. So there is a certain slowdown compared to BSPL, but it's still quite usable. This is well within acceptable performance. So not a whole bunch impressive there, but it does give me a foundation, I think, that I can probably start working on hardware. Oh, and somewhat relevant to hardware, let me bring up, give me 1 second. What are you doing? Okay, here we go. So basically, someone had submitted the Kestrel project to Hackaday's Hot Projects hotline or whatever. I guess they've got a forum that you can submit new projects for them to interview and write blog articles about, and someone did that. Someone got in touch with me about the history and the motivations behind the Kestrel. Not everything that we talked about appears in this article, but it's pretty decent as it is. It goes through the history of the Kestrel project going back as far as I can remember, 2007 or so, including the schematics for the very first Kestrel design that I ever made. There's the Kestrel 2, which everybody here has already seen before, the Digilent Nexus 2 board. And of course, I go on to talk about the Kestrel 3, and they kind of put it into nice prose, suitable for a blog. And then, of course, a solicitation for assistance. Now, it turns out this is not something that I asked for, but apparently they wanted to see this finished, right? So the actual project itself has gotten, like, since this has gone live, has gotten about 160 views thereabouts. I mean, it's not quite exactly there yet, but 16 comments, although read them at your own risk. Some of them can be pretty negative. But haters are going to hate, right? I mean, oh, they can get pretty nasty sometimes. Thankfully, it hasn't happened on this particular project yet. They've been pretty civil, but you know, comments like technology moves faster than this project does. Yeah, which I find to be very amusing, because this very same website has another blog article about a person who does everything via old school blacksmithing. Okay, now if there's ever an example of technology having moved forward faster than the actual project itself, I would imagine that blacksmithing is exactly the poster child for this. But I digress. People find that cool, but they don't find this cool, apparently. But whatever. I should point out that the only real source of, I don't want to call it negativity, but relatively speaking, there's a relatively negative comments, is the comments to this particular blog. Although there's a number of new ones. I have to go in and read these and figure out what people are saying. But everything else that I've seen, like all the other channels that people have gotten in touch with me through, have been generally pretty positive. So all in all, this blog article has given the Kestrel project a lot of net positive exposure. So that's cool. So that's really the Kestrel update that I have. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that? If not, I'm pretty much done. Don't be done. Okay. Yes.
Sort of thinking you have about getting into actual hardware.
What sort of actual thinking, or what sort of thinking do I have about getting into actual hardware? That is a good question. And actually, thank you for asking me that. Because I was just about to follow George's advice by going into future speculation as to what I was going to do. A fellow SVFIG participant had asked me if I wanted an Altera DE2 FPGA development kit. I tried so hard to just download their development environment, let alone actually get it to run. I just wanted to download their binary, and I couldn't do it. Altera is singularly the most customer hostile FPGA company I've ever had experience with. You have to register with them. Okay, fine. Xilinx requires that too. I hate having to do it, but whatever. So I register. I then go to actually go their download page. Okay, so in order to download for Linux, I have to click on these bunch of buttons. All right, fine, whatever. And then I click on the link to actually download, and it says, oh, your registration key is not recognized. What? I just registered. So needless to say, I don't have any binary that is capable of programming. Oh, that's the other thing too. I cannot program the Cyclone 2 series of chips with the modern version of their Quartus software. I actually have to go back to like software circa 2011 to be able to program the Quartus 2 chip that happens to be on the Altera DE2. So that was a second strike. And I guess the failure to download that, even that was the third strike for me. And I have no intentions of ever using Altera products as a result. Another individual, this one through Hack Day, came up with the possibility of using different lattice semiconductors boards, not the Brevia one, but a different one. This one was a it was an ICE 40. It was the ICE 40 HX4K, I believe. Yeah, there's two of them, but this one in particular was a 4K board. And all it is a breakout board, and it comes pre-populated with one 40-pin IDE connector but they've got space for 4. So if you need all 4 populated, and it gives you access to like something like 100 or so I/O pins thereabouts. The only problem with that is there's no RAM, there's no PS2 ports. You know, there's none of the amenities that I would like to have to be able to build a Kestrel 3. Yeah, the feedback was that there were other peripherals available. I'm sorry, other dev boards available that do have certain amenities, but in reviewing what is currently available, nothing as nearly as nice as what the Altera DE2 was. The DE1 and the DE2 are certainly very desirable because they're basically PC motherboards without a CPU. All they have is an FPGA in place of the CPU. Everything else, like the AC97 system is there for audio. They've got a 30-bit, not a 24-bit, but a 30-bit VGA port. I don't know why you would want to use the extra precision. You can't see it anyway, but they have it. So if you want to find a way to hack that, there's a free set of 10-bit DACs right there. You know, they've got high speed plus normal medium speed I/O. They've got 2 PS2 ports. They've got USB ports. They've got like all this stuff that you would normally find like on an ATX motherboard, and it's already right there. It's already baked into the hardware. Plus 64 megs of SD RAM, 512K of static, and then 4 megs of flash RAM, and yeah, like the specs just go on. And some of them are pretty affordable. They the DE1 can go down as far as $150. The DE2, the one that was recommended to me, spec'd out at about $500. So not bad for considering that you're getting a motherboard. Yeah, it's just a shame that Altera doesn't want me to program the chips. So yeah, one thing that I've been wanting to consider going forward is actually building my own FPGA development board myself based on the Lattice ICE40 series. If you remember the Green Arrays boards that Chuck Moore, his development board would have 2 Green Arrays 144 chips on them. I was thinking of doing something similar, where I have an 8K device that I would use as the CPU, and maybe another 8K or 4K device for peripheral, and I would have them 2 linked together, and then just break out the I/O accordingly between them, so that I can have VGA and PS2 ports and stuff already on it. So that's something that I've been considering going forward as well. Haven't quite gotten there yet, though, as one can well imagine. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying out the ice storm stuff, for sure.
Is this FPGA too small?
I don't think it's too small. In fact, I think that's bigger than most of your Ice Storm, or I'm sorry, the ICE40 series. The Brevia 2, though, has the bit stream for that has not been reverse engineered. The nice thing about the ICE40 series is they have been completely reverse engineered, and so you have all open source tech tools and technology. Place and route, Verilog compilers. I don't know about VHDL, but I can't imagine why. If it doesn't exist now, then it certainly will shortly. You know, you've got the synthesis tools that are available. There's place and route. There's timing analysis. Like there's a lot of tooling that's now publicly available, and you can just download it and run it and play with it. You don't have to register with anyone. It doesn't cost $500 for an entry edition for reduced license. The flip side of the coin, of course, is the ICE40s are very, very basic. They are a pure FPGA in the purest sense. It is a sea of lookup tables. Whereas a lot of your other FPGAs, they include things like block RAMs, they include DSP units, multipliers, you know, they've got all this additional proprietary logic. ICE40s don't have that. It's nothing but lookup tables and routing network. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Yeah, there apparently some other FPGAs will have partial live reprogramming as well, and the ICE40s, of course, don't have that. But thank you. Yeah, my Nexus 2 doesn't have that either. You have to reset the whole chip to program it. Cool. So there is reverse engineering happening for the LX9 series FPGAs. Cool. That's good to know. Cool. Can you do me a favor and post some links to the mailing list on that? That would be really awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was just getting feedback that there are similar reverse engineering efforts for the more recent Xilinx FPGAs as we had for the ICE 40s, which would be kind of nice because if we can get open source tooling around that, that has several advantages. One, Xilinx parts are much faster than the ICE 40s. The ICE 40 FPGAs are designed for low power applications, not high speed. So they're pretty quick. Don't get me wrong. I think the highest frequency that you can drive an ICE 40 HX 4K falls in the vicinity of around 300 or so megahertz, 350 thereabouts. So for my needs, they're plenty fast enough. But if you really want to do real-time signal processing or neural net emulation or whatever, the Xilinx FPGAs are definitely the way to go. I think their speeds range anywhere between 600 megahertz up to a gigahertz, depending on the part that you get. They can be pretty fast.
Yeah, I think that Xilinx and Acura, they are targeted to professional chip designers. They're not really accurate. So the board costs you thousands of dollars, and then Congress costs you $2,000 a thing. You pay up that much. That's very nice. Okay. You got a key well-being, and that is nice.
Yeah.
I think the only free FPGA tool I would think Lattice is most extensive.
Yeah, the response back was that Altera and Xilinx target professional chip designers much more than other FPGAs do, whereas Lattice is much more accessible, especially to hackers and things, because they're simpler architecture and certainly more open as a company as far as that goes. And based on what I'm seeing, now that said, Digilent is a partner with Xilinx, and they do make Xilinx parts accessible. You can certainly go that route as well. Their boards have decent price points, but all of their more contemporary stuff requires Xilinx Vivado, and I have no experience with Vivado as a programming environment at all. I follow someone on Twitter who is also an FPGA user, and he seems to have no end of problems with Vivado. So I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to try and go that route myself. So I'm at this point much more inclined to consider the Lattice product line. But the problem is none of the Lattice boards that I've personally seen so far have VGA PS2 ports that I can use, Ethernet ports, or like they don't have the amenities that I would want to have as a computer product. So part of me is like, do I want to develop the custom FPGA board first and then use that as a platform to program the Kestrel 3 in hardware, or do I want to stick with something like the Nexus 2 as a proof of concept, release it, and then go with the custom motherboard? I'm not quite sure which route I want to go yet. It's awfully tempting though to try and just try my hand at building my own FPGA board. It is really, really tempting.
That's great.
Cool. So we'll see. My hope is to get something in hardware again, running in hardware again by this coming January, because I'm not going to do it by November. I can't. I just don't have the time or the bandwidth. What's that? Well, it's a matter of runway, right? I mean, 2 months can make or break a design as far as debugging effort. I can definitely hack together a bunch of Verilog, and I can try to throw it into you know, a bunch of cooperating FPGA boards. I mean, they're cheap enough now. I can get those breakout boards for $50. But getting the RAM for it, getting the PS2 ports for it, all that stuff custom fabricated, it's all going to be very, very hard to get all that stuff put together. Cool, cool. Thank you. The name doesn't ring a bell.
What a relief. I thought I turned it off when I gave it to Brad, and I thought, oh, I hope it hasn't been off since then. Okay, then. I have to find another plug and another one. I have to hope for the best. Uh-oh. Hate it when it does that. It is, I mentioned, the links that I'll send out to the email address. George was asking me earlier how I got that number of 76 boxes while I estimated. When FIG dissolved, all of the inventory went up the hill to Glenn's house. And I guess my first question when I heard Glenn had passed away was what kind of images or videos or whatever we could find of Glenn. That's pretty much it. I think there's not a lot of stuff, since much to our credit, I think we were more interested in living life than documenting it. I'm of that opinion myself. I guess what I'd like to ask is, does anyone care to say a few words about Glenn? Ting, perhaps you'd like to start off?
Well, what I knew of Glenn was that he's a physician, and I always remember he's talking about the electron microscope that he has. Okay, he always have at the time, I think 70s, you know, you have an electron microscope, you are somebody. Okay. And he's always talking about how the serviceman service his electron microscope. You know, electron microscope, that's a vacuum system. So for a vacuum system, the definition of a vacuum system is that it leaks. Okay. So to get it work, you need to find the leaks or prevent all the leaks. And he's talking about his technician, how his technicians assemble, disassemble the system and reassemble. He just do it one stage at a time. First, the pump, the vacuum pump, and the diffusion pump. And each time he will just close it off and pump it down and go have a smoke. And after the pump down, he would disassemble it and then put on the next stage, close it off, start the pump, and go have a smoke. And he's always remembered that you know, can't you do it faster? You know, put everything together and then pump it down. That will save you lots of time, right? No, that doesn't work. Okay, one stage at a time, and that's the fastest way to get a whole electron microscope working. And he always talk about in fourth, you do it the same way, from the very bottom, one stage at a time. And the top-down design doesn't work, okay? Not in the electron microscope, not in fourth either, okay? So that's what I remember. Oh, a little bit. Okay, anybody else?
If you go to that link, you'll see that Glenn's website included several of his essays. So I recommend that that you go there. I don't know that you'll learn anything in particular about fourth, but perhaps a little bit about thinking and a little bit about life. In one of Glenn's talks, he mentioned this book. So when you're done reading Glenn's essays, I recommend this book to you. I had come across it many, many years before I'd ever seen Glenn speak, but it brought back pleasant thoughts about that that book when he mentioned it. Anyone else care to? All right, one more from Ting.
Yeah, it's I think what I want to talk about the force chips. You know, when I think Glenn was the first one who designed the force chip and actually implemented it using the TTL or MSI logic. So he designed the board, and who was that young fellow who actually did?
Bill Koopman?
Yeah, Phil Koopman did all the assembling, wire wrapping, and they actually got the fourth whisk. He called the whisk chip. So he got that whisk chip running, and I think at that time Chuck came to visit him and look at the whisk design. I don't know whether it is Chuck had designed his chip first, or he would go into the chip business after seeing the whisk design. But I think they work very closely. together. But apparently, Chuck has a different Chuck planned a different route than Glenn. So I think they split, and Chuck went out to design the NC4000 chip. And that was the first real force chip. But Glenn had always had the whisk chip, I think, before Chuck has his NC4000. So this whole thing started force chip running. Anything? I never worked with it. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Ting, do you have Glenn's phone number from his house? No? Okay. The reason I ask, maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. The reason I ask is that Glenn had a substantial, he had inherited the business, the Mountain View Press, and I guess either he bought or was given that business that sold Fourth books. And then later on, when FIG vaporized, they carted 78 boxes of FIG's inventory that they had been selling, Fourth source listings and old copies of Fourth Dimensions and some books and other things. They carted it up the hill to Glenn's house on the theory that he might be able to sell it. A forlorn hope, I think, even at the time. But I have it in mind to go up the hill and cart the stuff down, put it in a storage locker for a well-defined, very short time, fish out 3 or 4 copies, scan and post on the internet things that can be done without legal complications, and throw the rest into the recycling. So
We might grab, like a volume of the Fourth listings and
set aside 3 or 4 copies of things that we don't have, scanned in and on the website already.
yeah, because I would like to put that in my personal library.
Well, are you willing to participate, which is the next question? Just don't feel that this is going to obligate you. It's not signed in blood. How many of you would be interested in going up the hill and heaving this stuff into a box truck from U-Haul? It may require a little bit of a contribution to get the truck. I think that's pretty much the way I envision this happening. If Glenn's widow is still alive, I don't want to impose upon her for more than a few minutes of her time one day to load up this U-Haul, maybe 2 trips. 76 boxes of stuff is a pretty big box truck full of crap. And I'm grateful for the show of hands. There were a few hands. Those of you out on the interweb, if you want to participate and you're in the Bay Area, you can contact me. I'd be pleased to hear from you. So going forward, I will attempt to contact Glenn Hayden's estate in some way. If I'm unsuccessful, that's the way life is. This stuff may already be shredded up and made into fiber for tomorrow's edition of the New York Times or whatever it is they're still printing. So next after that will be the thought of who is willing to help sort this stuff out. And I expect that this will take every bit of that 3 months that I mentioned. How many of you would be willing to help with that? So I see 2 or 3 of us, and I assume you're all sort of in the Sunnyvale area and are willing to, you know, participate in a location, you know, somewhere near Sunnyvale. Say again? Well, I'm going to try contacting Glenn's widow this week. I don't have a phone number or place to start, but yes, that's certainly a phone number. Okay. Anyway, so my point is, thank you for offering to help. I don't know. It's going to probably be before the next meeting that we're going to try to organize going up there so that this stuff isn't sitting around.
So the Internet Archive will store copies of literature until the copyright expires, and then they will scan it. When the copyright has expired, they'll scan it and put it on the internet. So we could do that, like have for one for each copy.
Great. Well, that'll be the potential destination for one copy of everything we extract from Glenn's archive. I had already said, gee, great idea. Thank you. Yes, sir.
To get all the material selected, and you're ready to scan it, I can use the scanner copier downstairs, or we can have a team of it, doing it on perhaps weekends when there's a few people around.
Great.
It's very fast and can do double-sided as well.
Yeah. Unlike bit savers, I'm not interested in producing images of this. Pictures are pretty much useful. I want text that can be searched and manipulated. But I don't want images. I want text. I want searchable text. Yes, that's my quibble with these guys at BitSavers. They're more interested in getting good scans that meet their exacting criteria that will someday be will be text identified using some program that has yet to be identified. Even though they could probably be doing it now, they are not. They are. My understanding is they don't want to do that. They want to just get all of these images of all of these pages, and at some point they'll convert them to text.
I think that's a great idea. I was looking at 8080 FIG4, and I found a copy on the website. It's a printed, it's an image, a copy of images, and I just couldn't. The image was not as good as I wanted. The text conversion program just couldn't recognize it.
Yeah, that's the problem with things that aren't just you know, a novel or something where English sentences are easily recognizable, and you can sort of, the program can sort of fill in what the words are from context. And there's a certain amount of magic to the process of taking a scanned image and converting it to usable text. That it looks at the surroundings as well as the actual characters that it's trying to convert. Assemblies, that's useless, you know.
Which can be reassembled.
Yeah. That's really hard to do. I think you need. Back when I was growing up, they had, you know, written response forms that people would print block letters on. And those scanners had to have somebody sitting at a keyboard full time, and it would just flip page after page of little thing that the guy had to type the correction in. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that was pretty much all I had intended to accomplish. And I miss Glenn. I never really knew him very well, but I enjoyed everything he had to say to us. And I'm grateful to him for his contribution to Fourth and to FIG. Thank you very much.
Be aware that there's a whole bunch of Mountain View Press stuff besides the FIG stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what